Welcome to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I, for today and today only, am your humble host, Diana Perry Cruz, and joining me is one of my co-hosts.
And it's me, Jackie. It's a girl squad. We're squad on the podcast. It's the girl squad.
Girl Squad here for your August 2020. September 2024 preview edition. We are sans Rob today. He is feeling under the weather, so you just have the two of us.
So
Quite possibly in an event that's never occurred before.
Never. I was thinking about it. This has never happened before, and I am so happy that it's happening on Supervision September. So yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, I love it. I love Supervision September.
I love Supervision September. I do miss Rob, but I also love Supervision September.
We'll see him shortly. Yeah, so every year in September, we just have episodes about supervision, and this year is no different. So should we jump right into it and tell folks what they can look forward to?
Yeah, and I also want to mention now and at the end that Supervision September means you can get Supervision CEUs.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Right?
That's why
people
it's
love
Supervision September.
Because you need those supervision CEUs, you need those ethics CEUs. So we should have like an ethical May, right? We should really
that.
The
ethics we kind of like sprinkle throughout the year.
That'd be fun.
But we could always do that. We could change it so that there's one specific month. But there are lots of opportunities for ethics throughout the year. This year we actually offered a supervision episode as well, not solely in September, with Dr. Mallory Quinn. It was like a bonus supervision. But coming up right now, this month, you have the opportunity actually to get 4 supervision CEUs now that I think about it, right? Because we're going to have one that's a book club that'll be worth 2 CEUs. But to start the month off, we're going to talk about remote supervision. Many folks out there in internet land are interested in learning more about how to conduct remote supervision and conduct it well. So we thought we would devote an episode to that. In that episode, we have 2 articles that we will review. They include Maintaining Effective Supervision Systems for Trainees Pursuing a Behavior Analyst Certification Board Certification During the COVID-19 Pandemic. However, I will let you know that it is applicable beyond that particular time period. That was written by Nancy Cholich, Hogan, Taylor, Bristol, and Burris, and published in Behavior Analysis and Practice 2021. I probably didn't tell everyone that this is a podcast about behavior analysis and behavior analytic research.
No, but I think you know what I just read in a podcast forum is that people aren't always saying what they're about anymore because if you have listeners, you have listeners.
True. I read that too.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just cutting edge. Yeah.
We're just
toads.
We're sharp.
Also, on that remote supervision episode, we will talk about the article titled A Survey of Barriers Experienced While Providing Supervision via Telehealth, Implications for Future Research and Practice by Cipolo Thomas and Broadhead, also published in Behavior Analysis and Practice 2024. So we have that coming up to look forward to.
I love that one because I love that article because some of it's surprising, but some of it's not at all surprising. Like internet connectivity is a problem, right? You know that. But like some of it's like surprising, but some of it's like, fun fact, people say internet's the problem.
You think we would have gone past that at this point, but no,
right?
It remains an issue. Yeah, so that's a pretty good article, and I'm excited to talk about that with everybody. We also have another episode coming out regarding training supervisees in compassionate care practices. So this one combines a couple awesome topics, supervision as well as cultural responsiveness work and soft skills, compassionate care stuff too. So we have 3 articles to review here, and these are pretty exciting. The first one's titled A Preliminary Analysis of the Effects of Clicker Training and Verbal Instructions on the Acquisition of Relationship Building Skills into Applied Behavior Analysis Practitioners by Canon and Gould. That was published in Behavior Analysis and Practice 2022.
I love myself some good clicker training.
I know you do. I know you were so excited when that episode was coming. That article was included. So that's the one that you're going to get to review in that episode. Also, a multi-level framework for compassionate care and ABA approaches to cultivate a nurturing system by Denegri, Symbol, and Catrone. That was in BAP. Super recent, 2023 or 4. It was online published in 2023. Okay, very good. And finally, Teaching Compassion Skills to Students of Behavior Analysis, a preliminary investigation by Rohr and Weiss, also in BAP, also in 2023. So all of that's coming out, very exciting. And in addition to those two, we also have a book club for Supervision September. So every quarter, we review a book and then put that out there as a 2-hour book club episode review with the three of us, as well as our book club guy, Alan Haberman. And basically, usually every September, the book club coincides with the Supervision September, and this year is no different. So we will be reviewing a supervision-related book for that. So that's going to be, it'll come out during September, but it'll be worth, quote unquote, worth 2 supervision CEUs. And the book is titled Discipline Without Punishment, the Proven Strategy That Turns Problem Employees into Superior Performers by Dick Grote. You will be able to listen to us talk about this book, the second edition as well, in case you want to rush out there and buy it right now.
It's only $12.
Only $12 currently. Hopefully that price holds for you. What was I going to say? We're going to read the book and then we're going to talk about it. And that way, either you can also read the book so that you can join in the conversation virtually in your head, right, with us, or you can say, oh, that's a book that I want to read in the future. Or maybe that's a book that I don't want to read in the future. We'll find out when you listen to the 2-parter on Discipline Without Punishment. I got to say, I don't love the title, but that doesn't mean that the content is not good.
I hate the title too. I sat down in my place of reading for a long time because I don't like the title, but I'm not going to tell you how I feel about the book yet. So
sometimes, you can't judge a book by its cover, right? Some people have said that in the past. I've heard that phrase before. Mm-hmm. And I just watched Mary Poppins Returns, and they actually have a whole song about not judging a book by its cover or perhaps its title. So
I love that.
If it's good enough for Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's good enough for me. They also talk about Frito-Lay in a chip factory in this book. So you have chips to look forward to at the very least. Yeah. So that's the plan for Supervision September. This one, sometimes people say, oh, is the book club going to be released to everyone? Because if you are a longtime listener, then you know that the rest of the year's book clubs are released to the Patreon feed. There we go. And then after a year, they're released on the regular feed. This one is coming out at the same time for everybody. So you'll get it in your regular feed, whether you're a Patreon person or not.
Because supervision's that important.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. All right. So that's what we have going on there in the Supervision September world. During these episodes, we also have a section where we call it errata, which means technically errata means mistakes that we made. And so we always kind of thought this is where we'll talk about things we've done wrong. Some months we do have that to review. Some months we don't. So we also just throw in all sorts of extra stuff into here. So it's almost more like an et cetera category versus an errata specifically. But what was that?
It's like my purse.
Your purse? Yeah.
So you throw things in and then you're like, oh, wow. I wonder
how much excitement.
I wonder how long that's been there.
Exactly. So we talk here about things going on, happenings, things people might want to know about. And Jackie, I know you have a few things you wanted to mention.
I have a lot of things I want to mention, actually.
Okay.
First thing I want to mention is an email that we received from listener Terry. And this was on episode 229, Naturalistic Development Behavioral Intervention with Dr. Jamie Hughes-Leica. And Terry loved this episode. Before she entered the field of ABA, she wanted to return to school for developmental neuropsychology. In her experience of learning and working in the field of ABA from the ground up, she's had the experience to do more traditional ABA, like the DTT approach, as well as other approaches based on verbal behavior. And she thought for so long how the fields of ABA and developmental psychology need to merge and marry. In a lot of ways they have, right? So she was really excited about that. And so she just wanted to mention that she's a BCABA. She's an inclusion classroom teacher. She was assigned to a class designed to be in an embedded program, understanding and using ABA methodologies for preschool age children in inclusion or transitioning from a sub-separate classroom environment into full inclusion. So that's, what a lot of our listeners are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
In public schools in this setting. And she suggests that this type of training would be perfect for those ABA professional support staff, and that could extend the knowledge of the natural environment teaching to a higher level and maybe make it a little less rigid and a little more supportive. And so she says that the current trend in public education is to get more children out of sub-separate classrooms into inclusion. However, when it is not set up properly, the scenario is set up for failure, right?
Yeah.
So she suggests professional development training for her staff who serve the inclusion population in this sort of way. She thinks about how the naturalistic developmental behavioral intervention would be really helpful for these types of staff. And so she said, talk about perfect pairings. She's like pulling it all around.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, Terry. And if you're really interested in naturalistic development intervention, and Dr. Jamie Hughes-Liga, she is setting up a conference on naturalistic developmental behavior intervention. So reach out to her if you are interested in learning about that conference that's going to be happening, I believe, in the fall. So it's very exciting. And now that I've mentioned conferences, the next thing I want to talk about is our fall conference schedule.
All right.
It is very hot. It's a hot schedule. Fall is a busy time for conferences. I feel like you could say that for every season, but for us particularly. And we will be at various conferences around the country, which sounds fun to say, even though it's only 2 places.
I had to buy a brand new jetpack, right? So I can do all that jet setting. Yeah.
But we will be at the Thompson Center for Autism Conference, and that is in September. We go there in person.
Yep, it's the 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th. So that is in St. Charles, Missouri, which is really close to St. Louis, Missouri. And I have to say one thing about this conference is they know how to treat their guests, right? They always have really great multidisciplinary talks. They have multiple tracks that you can go to. They have great snacks and breakfast and lunch offerings that are free for conference attendees, which I always appreciate. And we are going to be there, and we're going to be rounding out the conference on Friday afternoon.
Bringing it on home.
Bringing it on home. And we're going to be talking about the ethics of collaboration. And so we're really excited about that. So if you are interested in being friends with us in real life, come on down to the Thompson Center in Missouri if you're close to that. We also have a booth there, too, that you can come and get stickers and pins and bookmarks and T-shirts. We got all that fun stuff.
Varied swag. Yeah. They always have a really thoughtful lineup of speakers, I feel. And they pull from a lot of different areas and folks who kind of have expertise in a lot of varied areas, and not just BCBA speakers either, right? Yes. Because it really is kind of a multidisciplinary conference. So there's often educators, clinical psychologists who are speakers, and I've heard people there that I've never heard speak before and came away as super fans of theirs. So they do an excellent job putting on that conference. So if you're in the area or you want to travel, St. Charles is very quaint. It's very cute. Yeah.
We love it. They have candy cigarettes too in one of the local candy stores, and we always like to buy them. That was fun for us. So that's September. October is even hotter than September because we have 2 conferences that we will be going to in October. So one of the conferences is the annual Babbitt Conference, the Berkshire Association for Behavior Analysis and Therapy, and that is held in Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester.
Beautiful Worcester,
Massachusetts, and that's at the DCU Center. And so that is October after Columbus Day. I can't remember the date. I'll look. I think it's the 16th, 17th.
I believe you're correct. After Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, yeah. I keep doing that. I'm so sorry. Yes, it's the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And this year's theme for Babbitt is collaborate, which I love. So they're going to be having, your regular invited lecture series. I think Dr. Tyra Sellers is coming. Dr. Greg Hanley is coming. They also have a collaboration track where you can go and listen to, people collaborating in the field, right? I think we have one that's on, dentistry, where a dentist is coming and talking about strategies. I think we have one on hairdressing. We have one on environmental sustainability. So that's all really fun.
SLP collaboration.
Yeah. So that's always a great conference. Their snacks before the poster session are really awesome. And so, I'm just I like to comment about the snacks. And the wonderful thing about Worcester is that it is a foodie city, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have Bucks lunches, which are okay. They're not like my most favorite at Babbitt, but the surrounding restaurants are like top notch. So, and there's always some places that you can go. And for funsies, if you are in the area and going to Babbitt on Wednesday evening, we'll be hosting a trivia night again about behavior analytic trivia that Diana and Rob created. I barely did anything because it's not my strong suit, being creative.
Oh, that's okay. You're the Vanna White of the trivia.
Yeah, I'm the Vanna White, but that's always fun. We've done it at a few conferences now, and people love it. So that's great. So that's happening in October. And then we're going to round out October attending the Stone Soup Conference virtually on October 25th. And one thing I love about the Stone Soup Conference, I always make time to go for it, is because it's one day, right? It's on a Friday. I love that too. And it just is so easy. And all the talks are like so great. Let me tell you who's going to be there this year at Stone Soup. It's just day. It's like 9 to 3. And one thing that I also appreciated about the Stone Soup Conference is that they have a hot chat. Like people storm, right? So
it's virtual, but you really feel like you are connected to the other participants. Yeah.
Right. And what's really neat about the Stone Super Conference is if you love some of our episodes, we have a lot of speakers that were on the show that are also going to be at the conference. Like Emily Veron's going to be there talking about sleep. She was on an episode. Dr. Camille Kalu is going to be there talking, and she was on an episode as well. The keynote is Dr. John Austin. We read his book. Some other people that are going to be there are Dr. Anthony Camilleri. He works at FTF Consulting. So if you love that, that's going to be really great. Dr. Callie Plattner is going to be there chatting about motivational interviewing. So, it's going to be a hot day, and you can earn up to 8.5 CEUs. So, and just do it in your bedroom. It's like that 80s commercial. And it's like, do you want to earn a degree in your pajamas? Sure, we all do. And you can earn 8.5 CEUs in your pajamas if you're not at work doing it. So, that's...
Or some people can go to work and then attend.
That's right.
If it's cool with your work, right?
Yeah, that's so
attend
true.
From there, or attend the ones that you can from there too. So that might also be an option for you.
Yeah, Babbitt also has a live stream.
They do. Yeah,
have a live stream, and I always forget about it because I always love to go because I love seeing people and hugging all my old friends. But I also should mention that. So these are two conferences that you could, if you can't travel far away, they're good ones to immerse yourself in the culture of behavior,
which is super important.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Your community of practice, right?
Your community of practice, which I love.
Okay, so that is all happening. And I have one more email, right? That I'm talking about.
No. You wanted to talk about the website?
I do. Well, it's based on an email.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said it that way. So I don't need to say who sent me the email because lots of people send me this email.
Yeah.
So it's not about calling out any one person, but many people email me to say, hey, I see that on your website you have a login, and I've listened for a long time and ordered CEs, but when I put in my password, it says it doesn't know my password. And that is totally fine because we just added this feature to the website. So no one forgot their password. It's just that before we didn't have this feature available. So when you go to the website and you see it there, you can click it and then you want to click create new account. And when you do that, use the email that you've been using to receive your CEs up until this point in time. And if you do that, it will know the ones that you've already ordered from us previously. And you'll now be able to go in there and see what you had ordered in the past, which is great because before,
You just
I
emailed
mean, I know before people would email me and I would send them a list, and that is still available. But now you should be able to do it via this method, which is obviously better. And I'm sorry that it took me this long to figure out that I could add that feature to the website, but it is there now for your enjoyment. And you didn't forget your password. It's just that you never had one before. And now you can create a new account and make your account.
Like, was I dreaming when I created this account?
I mean, I never know, like all these websites,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Like I tried to order cupcakes from a place earlier today and they made me make an entire account just so I could figure out if I wanted to buy their cupcakes before I could even like get in to look at the cupcakes.
They are huge and delicious. I'm just saying.
This was a different place. I'm going to go with that place.
Oh, okay.
This is in reference to an offline conversation that Jackie and I had earlier.
How dare we talk offline? How dare us?
All right. Anything else that people need to know?
No, except that I am always waiting for you to email me at abainsidetrack@gmail.com. And Diana's always waiting for you to comment on Facebook and Instagram. That's where she lives. She's the sole proprietor of that.
I'm going to try to do a better job starting this fall. I'm going to do good. I'm going to do so good.
That's it.
Yeah, but we really, really do appreciate you as our listeners out there. So thank you for being our listeners. And if you can spread the word about us to your other fellow BCBAs and upcoming BCBAs, we would really appreciate it.
We would. Yeah. Okay. Thanks,
So
everyone.
thanks. Look at that. We did it. We miss you, Rob.
We miss you, Rob. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. Do we say keep responding on this one?
Keep responding. We did.
Keep responding. Bye.
Bye.